Okay, so we've had the light on now for approximately a week, and just wanted to show you that. You see the plants are doing good. I don't have all my plants in there yet. I have some plants in there, and some here, and some on the way. So let's just take a look at the plants. The colors, the reds are coming out. They used to be green. They look a lot better. The moss is looking better. The Java fern and all that's looking good. So this light is doing really good. I got some blackbeard algae, as you see, starting in the tank. I have no CO2 yet. That's coming. Look at the colors. They're starting to look really nice. I'm going to group these up. Start grouping my plants out. But I think it'll do a lot better once we get the CO2 in here. But there's the light. It's been on now. It's ramping up. It's not that hot at all. It's warm to the touch, but it's not hot. It's Micmol. I don't see any reviews on these lights or any unboxes. This is the 1200 series. If you haven't seen the video of the unboxing, you can go back on my channel and you'll see the video. I'll leave a link up in the corner. But right now my settings are, so specials are 80, the whites are 88, and the blues are 50. It goes back every once in a while and tells you. Just the autofocus. Whites are 88, blues 50, and specials are 90. Now the specials on this are the reds, greens, blues, off-whites, UVs, and I usually intend to have the specials up a little higher to give that really good color. So when at nighttime, when the light white and the blues are ramping down, the specials are higher, and that gives you that kind of a sunrise effect or sunset effect. The angels want to be stars. They're all wondering what I'm doing. I will be breeding the glow fish. So right now, I'm basically just, the tank's at idle. I only have the whites set up to go, I think the highest is 9 o'clock. The whites is at 90. I don't know why the whites are at 90. Now I think I'm going to have to go back through and set some of this. I think the whites and the blues are supposed to be 50. I think I forgot to set the whites. I'm going to try to keep, I think I'll pull the whites down to 75 and the blues stay where they are. So I'm just going to show you that really quick, just to give you an idea how easy it is to adjust this light. If I can get this to focus, probably won't. So let's just turn the light on. So you press and hold the lock button. Then you go to menu, auto mode, and you get your whites, which I want. And they're at dawn, sunrise, midday, it's supposed to be 75. Sunset is at 100%, which that's not supposed to be. So we're going to go through the settings and we're going to fix that. believe that's 72. Intensity for the dusk is 20, and night is 0. That's pretty much how you set that up, you guys. So there's really not much to it. Setting that up, it's a little bit time consuming, but once you set it, you get your settings where you want. Yeah, they work out pretty good. Your lightning mode, I'll go show you that. So let's go to let's go get this to focus. We'll go to lightning mode and lightning on. Yes. Start at let's say 4 o'clock. We'll say lightning at start at 5 and end at, let me see, I think the highest you can go 12. Okay, my light shuts out at 1. How many times a day? We'll say 7 times a day. How frequent? We'll say 8 times. And that's it up. So while we're making this video, maybe it might go off. So anyways, that's pretty simple to set that up. A lot of people say it's hard to set this up. It's a little time consuming, I agree. But setting it up to what you want for the spectrum, you know, how white your blues, you know, how bright everything you want, the intensity. And you got to remember you got all your settings throughout your day, through your 24-hour cycle. So we'll just take a quick look at the book. And they have references that you can go by, a guide or whatever. So let's just, we'll find one here. Now, this is what I have mine set at. I have mine set up for, it comes on at 11 a.m. dawn, which is 0. 1 p.m. then it's sunrise. And then I got my, I don't know what my tendencies are, I didn't write them down. 5 p.m. midday, 8 p.m. sunset, 11 p.m. dusk, and 1 a.m. night. So I have my light on, it starts coming on 11, so we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. So 10, so it's 13 hours the light is on. But the most brightest light would be your midday to your dusk, or your sunset and midday. So really you're only getting 8 hours. 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll say part of your midday and your sunset is your most intense. So we'll say 5, 6, 7, 8. It's getting 4 hours of really strong light. And it starts ramping down at dusk. So we'll say this is your most intense right here. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 hours of complete light is what I'm aiming for. Strong, good light. The rest is basically giving your plants a break and everything else. When you get your CO2 set up, you want to start your CO2 about around 5 p.m. We'll say sunrise. We'll start your CO2 before sunrise, and we'll shut your CO2 down just before 11 o'clock. So you'll have an hour and a half or so, just no CO2. Okay? So that's my schedule that I have. Now I followed a similar kind of schedule, and that would have been let's focus, the 15K schedule. But I didn't go midday, sunset, see where it's 100%. I didn't go as high. I'm aiming for 72, 75 right now because I don't have my CO2 set up. And so it'll be 40 on sunrise. Actually, I want to go look and see, but I'm pretty sure it's 40. It's supposed to be 70 or 50, 75, and then back 40, and then 0 at night. It should be the same thing for the blues, maybe a little lighter. Let me see if I can get this to follow through, see what I do have here for settings. Let's turn the light on. Okay, so we're going to hold down this button here to release the lock. Now we're going to go to auto mode, and we're going to, whoops, let's just go back. Auto mode, whites, and dawn is 0, sunrise is 50, midday is 75, sunset 72, dusk is 20, and then 0 at night. Okay, blues are 1 for sunrise, 25 for sunrise, midday is 50, sunset's 50, dusk is 25, and night is 0. Now let's go look at the specials, because I got the specials ramped up quite high. So dawn is 10, sunrise intensity is 50, midday is 95, sunset is 95, dusk is 100, and night is 1. That's all there is to it. And you can go through and you set up your timer the same way. It's very straightforward. I was going to buy the Fluval. I figured I would give this light a try to see how what plant I do have right now is going to react to it. Just from what I have for settings in there right now, it seems to be doing good. It's not up and it's not as bright as it should be, but I don't want to overdo it. I want CO2 in my tank first. I don't want to get a lot of algae going or nothing like that. So I probably will adjust my blues a little bit and my whites accordingly to my CO2 setup that I have coming. But I need to get my tank filled with plants. So I can tell you a big difference now. Compare the Micmol light compared to the Wills light. That one might be a little bit up too high. I don't know yet. I'm going to have to go take a look at it. But I noticed since I put this light on this tank, the plants look a lot healthier. You can see for yourself right here, the reds, the pinks are all starting to come out. If I can get the fish out of the way. But this plant right here, this one right here, you can't really tell with the camera, but it's pretty pink. If I can get the fish to get out of the way, but the camera's not picking up that pink color. It's picking up the red. There's another one in the back. It's got a little pink on it. But the colors are now starting to come out in the plants, which is a bonus. Now, I'm going to change my substrate out. Well, I'm not taking it out, but I'm going to put more substrate in. I'm going to go with the finer gravel. And I think I'm going to go with a different color gravel layer over the top of this. And I'm going to start putting my root tabs and everything in there where I'm going to be planting. It's going to be heavy planted, so I'm going to aim for a bonsai tree in this corner with moss and then plants around it. And then I'm going to get some moss put on this. I already have some moss growing on it. That's taken off like crazy. This moss here, my sister brought me a little piece of moss, and the moss was so tiny. I actually started it back there, and I trimmed off here and glued onto here. And just look how much it spread. Look how much it's growing. Look how green it is. Okay, it's growing. The plants are growing. Now I do notice the Nubius is getting a lot of black algae on it. I guess you call it algae. They call it blackbeard algae. Slower growing plants is going to happen too. I'm going to try to correct this with CO2, and that should slow down the blackbeard algae, and hopefully pull that out of the blackbeard algae. So look at the plants. They're doing good. They're doing good. They're growing. I did a split of one of the swords. Here's one here. It's growing. I did a split on this one right here. See how it takes off. We got what they call the Kombumbo or whatever it is plant right there. It's starting to grow. It's starting to get green now. So is this one. You can see the green starting to pick up. It was brown, but CO2 is going to make a big difference in this tank. So I'm going to be shooting for some really high tense plants. So basically low to high plants is going to be in here. That's what I'm aiming for. I want some big Amazon swords. I don't know exactly what I want for high tech plants, but I will be doing a follow-up on that soon. So look at the reds on this plant. Look at the colors. Now we'll go over here to the Will's Light. Now the Will's Light, you know, has been up for probably a week or so longer than the Micmol Light. And the colors of these plants are not as intense as what the other tank is. There is some reds. As you can see, I got some blackbeard algae growing on some of the plants. Kind of sucks. But the plants are not as intense as the ones in the other tank. I'm starting to get some algae on the rocks. I probably can turn down this light a little. So I'm getting a lot of blackbeard algae in this tank. There's no CO2 in this tank. That plant right there, it looks brown. It's starting to come back. I need CO2 in this tank badly. So once I get the CO2 set up and proper ferts, I'm adding fluoration here. I'm probably going to have to start adding a lot more fluoration than usual once the CO2 gets in here, but I don't want to feed the blackbeard algae too much. I may have to go to the I think they call it isopropyl or some kind of something to get rid of this blackbeard algae. I'll figure something out. But the plants are doing better than what they were. I noticed the snails. I killed back a lot of snails. And by the looks of it, you couldn't tell. But I did. I killed back a lot of snails. They were eating up some of my plants. I had to take out this plant. I had to take out this plant. And the plant way in the back, I had to take that out. And also had to take this plant out and this plant out of the 75 gallon. The Macos, or the Bosmanis, were eating them. As you can see, they were ripping pieces off and they're floating through the tank. They weren't eating them. They were just attacking the plants. So I'm going to leave them in here so they get a little bigger, a little stronger, and get the CO2 going, and get them out and get them nice and strong. And then I'll do a split, and I'll keep the split in here, and I'll put the bigger plant over in the other tank. If I don't do that, they will destroy the plants. I added a wood piece in here. Just put a rock on it, CO2 or siliconed it. This tank is it's doing good. It's just the blackbeard algae starting to take over, which I don't like. I know I'm gonna get some, but shouldn't get that much. Look at the Nubius. There's some in there. Nothing I can do about it right now. Just let it take its course and get the CO2 going and frig with that. Now, like I said, let's get back to the quality of the light. As you look at that plant right there, you can see the reds on it. But it's not as colorful as the plants over in that tank. Zoom in. Look at the reds on that. A big difference in light quality and spectrum. That is a full spectrum light, and it's doing really good. Now this Will's light, it's got some reds and greens and blues and some off-whites. Probably can't see that with the where it's so bright, but this light will do perfectly fine. I gotta dial it back, find out where the perfect setting is for this light. This light should only be running at probably, I'd say probably 50, 60, half anyway, when the CO2 is going. So right now I have the light set at some blues. It's just turned on. I got the blues, so they're just turned on. Turn that off. Now, looks a lot better without the blues. That's probably where that light should be, right there. So I think I'm going to do without the blues for a little while, because I know a lot of the white lights put out a blue anyway. So I think I'm going to leave my blues off, and I have my light, the white light, running at 6 right now, 7. So I take that back to 5. And I'm going to leave it right there. I put some pads on top to stop the dust from going through the light. I don't like the light full of dust. That way I don't have to take it apart and clean it all the time. I don't want dust hanging out here. But it throws good air circulation through this light, no problem. So those little pads on top will help. I have Velcro in the center. Actually, I think I just got sticky tape in the center. Hold them on. And I got some extras cut out, put away. I think I got like 20 of them. But I'd say the blackbeard algae is starting to get to be a nuisance in this tank. And I think it's because of the light intensity. No CO2 is a big issue. So I'm not an expert on how much light to put in my tank. I know I got to balance the tank out. I need to get the proper light, the proper amount of CO2 going in here. And then we're going to see a difference. I'm going to take out my tank, clean everything out. I'll probably go buy some hydrogen peroxide and mix it appropriately. And I'll probably take and bring the water level down to about here. And I will spray the Nubius. And then I will take and pull out the plants that has it on there, and I will spray those and let them set for probably 2 minutes, and then put them back in. And I'm going to replant into this tank as well, just to clean up on that blackbeard algae. And then I'm going to get the CO2 going, and I'm going to fertilize root tabs some more in here. I know there's already some in here. Like you can see, there's some fertilizer balls right there. And my sister made up some root tabs for me. Slow releasing fertilizer. Look, there's even fertilizer over on the top of the plants, for crying out loud. I don't know how they got there. The Plucko seems to make a issue with the fertilizer. I don't care how far you get your fertilizer down in there. You got like back there in the back corner, that sand was up high, and she gets back in there and she'll burrow a hole right down in the sand, and she'll make the fertilizer go everywhere, and you got fertilizer going. So this is where I'm at right now. It's all trial and error. I do know the colors in these plants. I think I'm going to take this one out and move it over in the other tank, that plant there. But yeah. So this is going to basically be a tank to start my growth in. I'm going to get some shrimp put in here. This is going to be just a baby tank. I'm going to have some filter sponges on, and this is going to be a baby tank. So shrimp's going to be in here, and babies, and lots of plants. The Wills light, though, seems to be doing fine for this little setup. I would not go buy this light for anything bigger. Like, really, if you're going to go and buy 2 of these Wills lights for almost $150 a piece, you got to have 2 or 3 of them over your tank. You might as well just go get yourself a Fluval or a light that I have here, Micmol. The only downfall I have about this light is how much light it emits into the room. So we're going to step back and we're going to have a look. But as you can see, it emits a lot of light into the room, but what can you say, right? You don't want to lower the light down, so anyway. So we're going to leave this video here at this stage, and then when my CO2 comes in and I get that, I'll do a little video of the CO2 and the regulator and stuff, and I'll do a setup of that and installing. And then we're going to go, I'll do probably every 4 days, just to give you an idea how much difference there is with the CO2 setup, and we'll go from there. And I'm going to be dosing with Floris, and I'm going to put more root tabs in this tank here. I'm going to be moving my plants around, grouping them up. I'm going to have some new plants coming. I'm going to put more moss on the log. And she also wants one of these coconuts cut the same way. down here hanging. Right about here. The angels love the coconuts. They get inside, they protect them. These ones here are the marble, what they call blue marbles. They were supposed to be zebras, but they're blue marbles, and they go in there and stay. One of them protects it. I do have a pair. I do believe it's these two right here, this angel and this angel. They paired up, I think, because they're always together. But other than that, you guys, I'm going to leave the video here, and we'll go from there. How the light's doing. The light's seems to be doing good. I'm only getting a little bit of growth here, not much. I keep that cleaned. Oh, and another thing too, if you have this light, you might want to put a bit of black tape on the rim of your tank, because this is aluminum, and you know, if you move it back and forth, it will scratch the top of your tank. So some black tape, just wherever you're going to have your tank setting up. See, I put black tape clear back to here. So if I slide my light back and forth, it ain't scraping up the tank. And it does stay on there really good. But other than that, you guys, this is what I got going so far. Everything seems to be working good. I have everything Velcro or zip tied on here. Hard to see because the light's so bright. But zip tied here, the cord, and then it's hanging down here. And this is my strongest point of the cord right here. So if I need to unhook my light, I just unplug my light and unscrew here and pull it apart. And I never disconnect from the meter or the smart remote. I will leave this plugged in all the time, because probably this will be the weakest point of your settings, so, or your controller. It's kind of weird. I don't like how it's set up with that, but it seems to be doing fine. Just don't want to unplug and plug in here a lot. I will do it from this point. So anyways, you guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, subscribe, rate, share. I'm new to this hobby with the plants. I'm not new to the hobby with the fish. I've never had real plants that I can remember. So new to the hobby with plants, CO2, and high-tech lighting. Fish I've had for years back, and had angels. I've raised babies and did all that. So I'll be doing this all over again, but just new with the plants. I gotta get some more ferts, different types of ferts. If you guys have any suggestions out there what to use, I would appreciate any information you guys can provide. I would love to get a hold of that Aquarium Co-op all-in-one solution. I can't get him to ship it here to Canada. If somebody out there in the States can get that product and ship it to me, that would be awesome. That would be a big help for me. I know somebody out there can do it. I'd really appreciate it if somebody did that for me, because I find from all the reviews, and you know, it makes sense. He mixes up his own ferts, and it's just all together in one. You know, and you squirt it in your tank after each water change, and you're good to go. And that's what I want. I don't want to have 20 bottles of something here and dump it in my tank. So I tried to get Corey to ship it here, but he won't. I tried to get the Fluval Light shipped here from him, but he won't. So I had to go to the next best, and that is the Micmol Light. Now I only paid, I'll say $100 for the light, because I got some money back, which was shipping. It was long getting here, which it was Amazon. They were nice enough to come back and say, hey, we're gonna give you a discount on the light now. They gave me back roughly around $70 on that light. Light original price was $319, and I got back, we'll say some $80, and plus the company is sending me another remote, because I had a little bit of an issue with the remote, and I didn't like how the wire plugged in here, but it works, right? But I called them up. I didn't call them up. I sent them an email. I sent pictures. I explained the situation. I told them I didn't trust it. They said it was fine. They agreed that, okay, this is new to me. They said they'll send me a new one anyway. And plus, they told me here in Canada, this light has a 2-year warranty, so don't worry about it. But I want extras on hand. I don't. If something happens to that, I want one I can just plug in and go. And basically, if there's an issue, I'll send them back to defective one, and I'll have one here on the go and ready, all ready to go. So same thing with the power bar. That was the only two main things with this light. People's had problems, but I don't think it was the older round smart controller that came with these lights that had problems with them. I don't see anywhere does anybody have any problems with the new one. So, but I want backup. Same thing with the power adapter. I've seen people have problems with the power adapters, but I'm going to have a spare one. I'm going to have a spare one on the back. On backup. I only paid a little over $100 for the light, so the light's doing its job. It's 96 watts, and it's adjustable on each spectrum. You can adjust this light to whatever you want. I was kind of hoping a thunderstorm would have happened here by now during this video. I see some lights out there that has the thunderstorm features, and it's not a key feature that everybody likes to have, but if you're breeding fish, it puts the fish in the mood. A lot of people are going to say I'm nuts, but no, I'm not. You get thunderstorms at home, watch your fish. The barometric pressure changes, and your fish goes nuts, and they breed. And if you want your fish to breed some more during those thunderstorms, do a water change about 10%. Put a little cooler water in there, and your fish will breed like crazy. Your light will mimic everything from a 24-hour day, from sunrise to sunset. Your thunderstorms, your fish will breed, and they'll breed right in that tank. You watch them. I've already had them breeding underneath this light from thunderstorms. The climacos go crazy, and the bozemonis eat like crazy. So, if I can get them to if I can put some plants when it's get heavily planted, I think this is the way I'm going to do it. I'm not going to use a breeder's sponge or mop or anything. If I do, I'm only going to be doing it with the glowfish. But if I want climacos or bozemonis or dwarfs or whatever kind of rainbow fish I'm going to have in here after this, I think with my tank being heavily planted, I'm going to watch them, and I'll pull that plant out and I'll put it in my 10-gallon or 20-gallon tank, and I'll let the eggs hatch, and I'll pull the plant back out and put it in this tank. It may have a little bit of an effect on the plant, but it ain't going to kill it. So thanks for watching, you guys. I know I said this once before. Geez, almost 40 minutes talking here. Please rate, subscribe, and share. And follow me. I need help on this channel. I'm not getting a lot of views. I'm just doing this for you guys. Doing this as hobby, fun, whatever. And I hope you enjoy what I have going here. And I actually do this for help from you guys to give me a little bit of advice. Helps me out a lot. I'm not here to give everybody else an advice or any maybe unboxing stuff, but maybe a light review or some review or something I might have. You guys might watch them. That's great. But I also would like help from you guys on the plants or what I might have going or my CO2. And, help each other out. This is what the hobby is all about. So it's fun times, and if we don't have each other on these hobbies, it'd be kind of boring. So it's too bad I couldn't trade, swap fish. A lot of people here in Canada don't seem to be into the hobby too much. Maybe Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and those areas, but up here in the neck of my woods, there's not too much. I would love to raise some babies and sell some to help profit what to go back into my tank. I would not make a killing off of them. But you know, if somebody comes over and says, hey, I'd like to have some babies. Speaking of babies, I never even showed you guys that. Here I am going rambling on. 40-minute video for crying out loud. Really quick. Here we go. Here is some babies in here that I got, some rainbows. And they are getting so much bigger. As you can see, they're doing good. I think they're ready to eat again. These guys will probably eat 3 times a day, maybe 4. Not really large feedings, but you know, a little bit every day, or 3 or 4 times a day. I'm having an issue with the mollies. I have 1 molly left. The parameters in the tank is good. I feed them with very good food, nothing but the best. I started out with 5 babies and now I'm down to 1. I don't seem to have very good luck with mollies. Here is a swordtail down here. She is killing guppies like crazy. She's probably killed one of my panicories. She's nasty. She's a fighter. And she acts like she doesn't get fed, but I feed her twice a day. So, I don't know. I need a swordtail for her, a male swordtail. He died. How? I don't know. I had the swordtail for probably about 6 months and it died. I think it was because of PetSmart. I think I brought some fish home from PetSmart. I had them in quarantine for 3 weeks. And I thought they were over what they had, but apparently not. And I put them in with the swordtails, and she's the only one I got left. He died. So there is the rainbows. They're doing really good. So thanks for watching, you guys. Later.